Last time on Metanoia Blues. Separated by the storm of a century, our trio of heroes must find a way to survive if they want any hope of being reunited. Within Fort Fathomless, the rogue military outpost seized by the Order of the Emerald Claw, Luca must contend with the scrutiny of Wulfrun Grimald IV and his father, the Castellan. Luca's soft-heartedness is a liability to his cover as a member of the cult, a weakness that Castellan Grimald III seems intent on correcting. He instructs his son to take Luca to the preparation chamber to acclimatize him better to the presence of the undead. Below the fortress, N continues their role as communication relay between the separated allies while they wait for the sabotage of the spell engine to take effect. They update First Mate Emma Brightwind on the impending threats of Culbercon and Lyrander, as well as the movements of Luca above and Willow aboard the Kraken Slayer. The Storm Chaser crew retrieve a deep-sea diving suit from the wreckage of a submersible, and make a plan to start ferrying supplies and weapons in secret while they wait for the opportunity to escape. N takes some time to liaise with their new allies, careful to keep on their good sides, and learns something of Willow's tarnished reputation with the crew and Prince Koulton Brightwind. Meanwhile, aboard the Kraken Slayer, Willow takes a break from working on repairs resulting from the brief skirmish between the forces of Lyrander and Dire Sharks and themselves. Over the lunch table, Willow and Koulton try to discuss how best to proceed with the mission to rescue their crews, but sneers and snide remarks quickly turn things sour. In the face of tensions boiling over, the two draw swords about it. We begin our scene, starting with the camera at a waist-level shot from Willow's side of the galley as they ready their sword. Then Koulton rushes in from off-screen for the first strike. Koulton rushes forward. I'm basically going to take the roll from last time. His athletics roll wins, and he forces you back. This is not doing damage, but he is forcing you to cede ground.
Okay. So Willow's going to... I imagine that just means that he's started. I am now on the defensive.
Yes.
Great. Do we roll initiative from here, or is it just back and forth?
I think it's just back and forth because it's just the two of you.
Fair. And he already won initiative, technically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are we doing this?
I would say let's do contested athletics rolls. We're both at disadvantage because you're both exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
I
am imagining athletics rolls for the meantime, in the sense of when they're starting out with their swords, there's not immediate intention to like strike and hit, but definitely sussing each other out. So this is that like exchange of weight at the very beginning. Yes?
Yeah, this is very much like this is fighting to disarm rather than fighting to hurt. And disarming is a kind of hurting.
Well, when your pride's involved, yeah. All right, so how about I roll athletics to see how well I handle that first part, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, ready?
9.
Average.
Say that's slightly below average.
Okay, Willow stumbles back, I think, before they fully get their sword unsheathed.
Mm-hmm.
They're not only on the defensive, they are unstable on their feet.
Yeah, you can really feel the consecutive all-nighters. Even if you did have a feast bug in between, your brain is just tired.
See that little moment of them, their face flinching, like as they're a bit startled to have been taken so off guard, especially because they started it, or they offered him out for the fight.
Yeah.
But they'll try and correct themselves at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes back to him.
All right. Yeah. Athletics check. Disadvantage. It would have been a nat 20. Instead, it's just an 18.
Oh, Lord.
He's really... I think there's like a quick exchange of blows of like him basically smacking at your grip on the sword of like, you hear the like ting ting of the back and forth as he's like forcing you into a corner.
Oh, Willow feels slow. Like, Willow feels sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try a dexterity roll to see
Yes,
if I can...
I would let you do an acrobatics to maneuver around him as well. This is going to be largely skill checks rather than attack rolls.
Yep, for now.
For now.
Yep. I'm going to... I feel like... So we're in the mess.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the mess, all right? But we're in, like, the mess, like, of the ship.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think he's, like, swiftly cornering me into the back. So Willow's like... They want to delineate that movement. They want to dodge out to the side if they can. Acrobatics check. 11?
Let's see if he can catch you. I think this would also be an acrobatics check on his behalf. No, it'll be an athletics because he's trying to block you.
Yeah.
Another 18.
Okay, I imagine what Willow tried to do was, oh, how embarrassing! It's fine. He can see the moment that they, like, look like they're going to... In one instance, they might jump. In one instance, they might roll. But either way, he knows. Or, like, a sidestep or one of their little spins.
Yeah.
I think he can see that they're preparing to go into a little spin, and before they manage to move away from him, he's just already in their way.
Yeah.
And he saw them. So I feel like there's an additional, like... Well, you can tell me how he does that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lot of like body blocking you with the sword out so that like he knows that you won't willingly like risk running into his sword to get away from him. So this is like a cold your escape like sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Is he going to do something himself other than block me?
Yeah, he'll do another like I think he'll try and disarm you. This I think is a sleight of hand check at disadvantage because he's exhausted. Just assume he's always at disadvantage because he's exhausted.
Yeah, same.
That's an 8.
Oh, to disarm me?
Yeah, so...
Do I have to roll?
Yes, I would say this would be another acrobatics check on your behalf or an athletics check.
To hold onto my sword?
Yeah.
I'm going to say athletics. It's just Willow trying to maintain their ground. Yes, okay.
Double 18s.
Okay.
So he attempts to go for a flourish to disarm and like fails quite poorly, honestly. He's also like he like even though he's had the like upper hand of like being very aggressive and pushing you into a corner, you can tell that his reaction time is also slowed.
Can I use that to try a dexterity roll? See if I'm at or an acrobatics roll to see if I can now skip past his other side?
For it. Yeah, go for it. 6.
How does this work? Can I say... Oh.
He rolled a 7.
What did we do?
I think you collide with each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a feeling that it's just kind of like a messy. No one intended that to happen, but it's just like a runs into each other. But
Yeah,
at the very
there's like
least,
a
I do
bump.
think that forces us back, like an even distance. Like it's like a restart.
Yeah, it resets sort of the footing because you both back up from each other. So there's a little more breathing room. This is a very narrow space. You are kind of like fencing back and forth in a tunnel between the
benches,
chairs and benches and tables of the mess and each other. So like there's a lot of obstacles around you to try and not get caught on.
Yeah. One of those, like, you try for a big, like, strafe around your opponent, but then you, like, walk into a table and then bounce back into your opponent. It's like,
Yeah.
But that's okay. I think it catches them both off guard because there's a part of them that is not accustomed to being out of rhythm.
Yeah.
That was weird. Anyway, I do
Yeah.
think they're going to launch straight back into it, though. But how do we...
Koulton will roll another athletics to try and press his attack once again. That's an 8.
8. I would like to acrobatics one more time to see if I can get out from this tunnel.
Yeah. If you succeed on your acrobatics check against the 8, you can, like, maneuver yourself around
Switch
him.
sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a nat 1. Oh, hell. Okay.
What does a nat 1 look like?
Well, what did his athletics look like? What was he trying to do? Pressure me?
Yeah, I think he was trying to, like, pressure and, again, disarm you.
Oh, then... bloody hell. Okay. You know how I mentioned that we fell out of rhythm?
Yeah.
I imagine there's a moment where Willow, like, sort of steps back. They're in the moment of trying to, reposition themselves according to how they think this should go. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of like, I'm positioning myself and here are my exits. I'm like looking currently there. I could go there. I could go, like, I could roll. I could jump up on a table. Yeah. And while they're in the middle of that, they kind of hesitate between all the options at once. And then he takes that moment of hesitation and he can easily, it's like in amidst all of the thinking, they forgot to hold on to their sword. So it's easily plucked. It clatters to the ground, I think.
Yeah. I think there's like a moment of like hissed breath from Willow before as like the sword is like flung from their hands, and we hear like Willow sort of in their tired delirium of like nat 1 fumble. Not only did he like disarm you, it's you dropped your sword because you were like over hesitating. And you hear the echo of his voice going, "You're thinking too much."
I think when Willow looks down at the clattering sword, like that sound resonates through the room, and when they look up from it again, the room's different. No, the room's more or less the same. And he's more or less the same too. Willow sighs. They're annoyed. They know. They're new to this, whatever. But it feels like there's like a long walk of shame to go pick up their sword. And Fender, rather, bends down to pick up the sword. Swats it off. What else am I meant to be doing?
Moving. As soon as you pick up the sword, he like does a little feint towards you to see if you'll startle.
I think Willow doesn't. Pardon me. Fender doesn't flinch, but Fender does take a step back and hold their sword up kind of aimlessly. You can see them clocking about like trying to figure out what Koulton's about to do so that they can block it.
Yeah, I think he like dances back and forth, and like does a quick series of like false thrusts.
Mm.
How does Fender react?
They're getting used to his rhythm, but that's not translating yet to action. They do realize that this might be the thing that he is talking about, thinking too much and whatnot.
He does a bunch of feints and then taps you in the tummy, and you're dead. Taps you on the shoulder. Cut. There goes your arm. Taps you on the inside of the thigh. Cut. There goes your leg. Taps you on the wrist. Cut. I've had training dummies that are more reactive than you are.
Fen slouches a little at that. They look behind them. They have been backed into the wall of the mess again. I feel like they keep restarting from the top, and Willow just keeps getting like pulled back across this like narrow alleyway between tables. If that is where we are right now, that is where we are right now.
Yeah.
It's after lunch. Yeah, of course. Fitting in some sword practice after lunch. Fen slumps, then they sort of mutter to themselves, maybe the sword isn't for me.
Don't tell me you're giving up already.
His tone activates something in Willow. Okay, fine. They will. They stance up again.
Koulton gives you a little grin.
Okay. Fen is thinking. Fen is thinking. That is the problem.
That is the
How do you
problem.
not think.
Koulton lunges at you again.
Fen reacts. Think without thinking. Without thinking. Ooh. The hand comes up and like the blade, Koulton's blade, skims off the edge of it.
Now we're talking. He does another lunge.
Fen also takes that one, but then also follows it up with at least an attempt to take another jab at him. It's a bit sloppy, maybe a bit hard. You can see that they pull back because there's like, while there are guards on the tip of the sword, they sort of hesitate to extend fully in that kind of counterintuitive way of like, oh no, it's gonna hit you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just like just dodges back out of the way, and then as you are like withdrawing, he his guard on the sword clips you on the elbow. Aw, Fen, are you scared of hurting me?
Keep talking, we'll see how I feel about it. Willow goes again for another jab.
He swats the blow away and goes, so slow, and like fake yawns.
Willow goes again for another jab. He makes it so easy.
I think now we can roll. Let's do a flat roll. Let's do contested attacks.
With my rapier?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
So he gets you this time.
Oh, I almost
But
rolled
you
one.
get him!
I got him back, yes! Okay. Ebb and flow is happening.
Yeah, he gets there slightly before you do, but you are catching up to him.
Yeah. You think you can see that little, like, beam of Willow, like, realizing that they're getting it? Look, they've done all these drills on their own. They would have told him already that they've, like, read about it. How do you respond to me saying, I read about it?
Read about it? Fat lot of good that's gonna do you in combat.
Willow's talking about having read about the theory of sword fighting, which, like, he would have learnt that back in the day, surely. And, like, when they were on their own, Willow used to practice with a sword, but never with, like, a sparring partner. Because they largely traveled on their own, which is why they asked him. Anyway, which is paying off now. So Willow, Willow kind of excitedly continues. There's no intention to stop at that one.
Yep. Roll another attack.
15?
Ah, so close. How have you survived this long? Like, you narrowly miss him? He misses you?
Ooh, I think that's the first time Willow does one of their little
Twirls.
flourishy dodges.
Yeah.
A little bit of a twirl, not quite at the full finesse of a spin yet.
Yeah.
But he can tell it's probably... There's a fluency in how Willow's moving that maybe comes naturally to them in a different context.
Koulton cocks an eyebrow at you and gives you a look. Huh. Haven't seen that one before. He comes at you again with, like, this very playful aggression. Overcommits. That one, Koulton runs at you expecting you to dodge, but you, like, fully freeze. And I think this results in him shoulder checking you?
You know, one of those, like, he disarms it at the same time that I was going for something, so the combined momentum, like, flings it, like, across the room.
Yeah.
Like, it, like, wedges into, like, can it wedge into the ceiling or something? Like,
Yeah.
one of the bars on the thing. Yeah, the ceiling, yeah?
Yeah, let's say in the ceiling, because that's really funny.
Both of us look up like, what? How'd that happen? So I think there's that moment where they both look up and there's just a thrum of the like,
yeah,
the sword
metal
in the ceiling.
vibrating into the roof.
Both just dumbly looking up at it for a sec, like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I think you both burst into laughter.
Yeah. Willow bows slightly as if to say that they did that on purpose.
I think that it's really funny to him, and I think he, like, hops to, like, pull it out of the roof.
No, I want to try and get it. What are we rolling? Who gets it first?
I guess an initiative, so just like a straight dexterity roll.
Yeah, you know, like, competing to see who can hit the sign at the aisle at the supermarket?
Yeah.
That's the energy.
12.
What'd you say? Sorry, roll
Dex.
Dex. As soon as I see him looking like he's going to go try and grab the sword, Willow's like, ah. Matched!
That's matched. Okay, now you smack into each other at the same time. It's like the worst basketball moments.
Whatever laughter they stopped having from the sword, like, trying to get it, comes back, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like you fully, like, bonk foreheads mid-jump. Koulton, like, staggers back and is holding his forehead like, oh, sakes!
Fenn's also holding their face like, oh, jeez, scars.
I think while Koulton is, like, staggering and he's still laughing pretty hard because it's like, ow, but also this is fucking funny. I think he manages to say something like, "You're a hazard."
Fenn looks at him, offended. Well, you knew that when you brought me on.
You mean when you invited yourself?
Well, you hired me.
Clearly not for your swordsmanship.
I'm still learning.
Koulton straightens himself up, gestures back up at the sword at the ceiling and says, "And you're doing a bang-up job." And I think he starts laughing again.
Yeah, I think they both start laughing again. And then I imagine we both head to grab the sword again.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No one gets it. When we're, like, keeled over laughing, can it just fall?
Yeah.
clatter to the ground.
Yeah.
Finn like lifts up their glasses to wipe their eyes. It's dark enough in here, I think, that they can probably not be wearing their glasses without
all of the
with
time.
Too much discomfort. Yeah.
Yeah.
So while they're kind of like idly buffing their glasses, they will go over to retrieve their sword now that it has been returned from the sky. I think Willow does a little. One thing they are good at with the sword, and I mean it's all drills. They're pretty good with their drills, so they can handle like the twirling and the necessary practice.
Yeah.
So they're just idly doing that while they think, maybe we should make this more interesting.
What? You want to place a bet on it?
Willow nods, though they are considering the parameters of this. A wager. First to 5?
Let's up the stakes. First to 3. And when I win... He twirls the sword a little and then points it at you. I'll take your jacket.
Willow, like, possessively holds their jacket, like, no. That's my cool jacket. But Willow will match him. They point their sword back. And if I win, I'll take your sword.
He gives a little leer and says, "You'll take my sword?" Oh, Fen. I didn't know you felt that way. Do you have plans for my sword? Not that it matters anyway. You can hardly keep your own sword in your hand as it is.
Oh my god. Sorry, Willow, like, with the glasses off, he can see the full scope of the eye roll as they return the glass, before they return the glasses to their face. Flatly, while still holding position, Willow will say, "I'll have plenty of time to figure it out once it's mine." And we'll start. They will start.
Yeah, yeah. Roll to clash. Attack roll, please.
On a attack roll? Do you want to roll same time?
Please.
We'll count it in?
Yes. Somebody else count us in for lag reasons. Where are the demons?
I'll count you in.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh. He does get the upper hand, but very close.
Yep. So we see the clash of your blades as Koulton forces you back a step. And in that moment, you hear his voice cutting harshly back to the present day. Where do you wander off to now, huh? Pick up your sword.
You see that belated moment from, like, Fen looking comfortable, bantering, sword fighting, having fun, and then just, like, seamlessly clicking back to Willow standing over the sword, sort of just distant, like they didn't even realize that they just kind of phased out. And I think what you see from Willow's perspective is that they have been looking at Koulton, and the image of him younger just suddenly snaps away, replaced by this Koulton instead. And they didn't even realize they were just sort of staring at him. They pick up the sword. Gonna start to attack.
Go for it. Athletics with at disadvantage.
Can we start rolling attack rolls?
Sure.
Am I still rolling at disadvantage for these?
Yep. Actually,
Oop.
just ability checks, so attacks are not at disadvantage.
Ooh, so can we take the one on the left?
We can indeed.
Roll a 24.
Nice.
Cool. Snaps back from this moment with don't think, move stuck in their head. And they want out of this mess. Which mess? We'll decide later.
A little bit.
Ooh, we almost matched.
Almost.
But Willow got the upper hand.
Yep.
Though this isn't contested anymore, right?
No,
Or-
this is not contested. Well, we're not fully treating it as contested, but you did win the contest
Thanks.
of this round. So of this exchange, let's say. Basically, we're not doing initiative order 2 attacks per round. We're doing like we're abstracting it of like several blows are being
Yeah.
done per hit, but
Yeah.
whoever comes out on top.
Yeah. So each each contested roll kind of decides who wins that bout.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because sword fighting isn't turn-based like that.
Yep.
Okay, I think what he can tell from Willow rolling a 24 attack is, well, they're attacking now. It's still dueling, it's still sparring,
Mhm.
but whatever makes them sort of just play on the defensive has shifted aside.
Mm-hmm.
They're switching back into gear. And I think when they win the first bout, it's kind of a seamless one. It's cavalier. They probably just get him on the arm.
Yeah.
It's a simple one.
Mhm.
And then you can see them count 1. Like they raise their sword as if to say 1,
Mhm.
and they are now counting.
He gives you a bitter look and like backs up to the sort of starting position. We keeping score now? Good.
Willow says nothing. They were just going to go straight back into attack. 24.
Damn. 16. Willow
Ouch,
wins again.
Koulton. Willow backs him up again, easily clipping his other arm. They count another 1. Clearly, they have now got 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somewhere in the back of Koulton's mind, he knows it's first to 3.
He's going to try and throw you off by aggressively rushing you. So, athletics check at disadvantage. Nat 1. Oof.
Ooh, could have told you that was coming. What happened? What happened with being able to tell that it was best to 3, or seeing Willow count?
I think what happened is that you, that Willow saw through him and you were able to like redirect his momentum, and he ends up like charging into the door behind you of like the kitchen.
Oh. Wait, what do you mean? Like he hits a wall, or like he misses me? He's not like running into a wall, I assume.
He misses you because you sidestep on. Is how I'm interpreting the nat 1. Is not that he does badly, it's that you are better. You know?
Okay. I mean, if you say so. You know what, Willow, seeing him rush past, I think Willow, darling, why? Willow's such a sore winner. I think when he blitzes past them, Willow kind of idly standing there just says, that's the problem with don't think, move. Don't you reckon?
I think like you hear the clatter, like there's a thump and a clatter of like Koulton basically has run through like the swinging door of the kitchen and like stopped himself on the counter, just like dislodging some like plates and bowls and stuff.
Reappears at the door, broccolis in hand. No, I'm joking. Okay. No.
He does reappear at the door, sword bared, electricity crackling at the edge of his fingertips.
Willow grins at him. They are now back-faced to the start of the mess where he was. So, like, you know, they could back all the way out to the deck of the ship from here.
Yeah.
They are free to leave. That's the placement. And he
Yeah.
can see the way that they're positioned is very much like, and you're free to chase.
I think he flicks the hair out of his face and like gives you a dangerous grin of his own. You can see a little twitch at the corner of his mouth. You're getting under his skin.
Good.
I think wisdom saving throw for him to maintain his cool.
13, not bad. I managed to maintain my cool on a 13.
Yeah, he does like a harsh exhale, and Koulton gives you a simmering grin that's like all teeth. Running away already? He's gonna start attacking.
Okay.
Wait, that was a disadvantage. That's supposed to be a normal
Take
attack.
the one on the left.
So 18, that's a hit, I assume.
Are we doing attacks or am I contesting?
You can contest.
22.
Fuck.
Willow wins. Willow wins this bout.
Yep.
And just to add insult to injury, I think they catch him a little bit on the tummy and say, cut.
Koulton takes a moment to reset himself, and goes, "So you do remember how to play? Figured you might have forgotten it with how busy you've been." 25?
18.
Wins this round.
Cool.
I think he is starting to push you out of the room.
Oh, like up the stairs? I always imagine
Yeah.
the stairs down to this place.
Yeah, I think
But-
he is starting to push you towards the stairs.
Yeah.
Of like, he is pushing you physically out of this space.
Mm.
You know, Emma told me how you were sailing around in some dingy little boat flying the Regal port flag. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you betrayed us twice over. How long has Ryga known you were skulking about?
Willow prickles. Did you say dingy? Anyway. Willow's been counting in their mind, and how did he kind of corner me? I imagine Willow kind of like realized they hit the stairs and they don't really want to go
Yeah.
up the stairs, so they're like,
Yeah.
they will, which puts them like obviously right against Koulton's sword. Anyway, Willow's gonna say, can't be more than 2 weeks.
Cool. I need to very quickly look at the calendar for the world.
Yeah, calendar, Eberron. It was Lavion.
Yeah,
Because it was Willow's
it's
birthday.
it's Barakas now.
Yeah. Wait, where's
I
Alpha?
think it. Yeah.
Because Willow might correct themselves because it was actually my birthday, which is like 7th?
Yeah, it was the 7th,
21st?
so it's actually like closer to 4 weeks, about a month. Just
Willow's
under
got
a
no
month.
concept of time. I think Willow
Yeah.
will pause and say, can't be more than 2 weeks. Oh, wait, no, month. It was my birthday.
I think Koulton just like, I'm gonna roll another wisdom saving throw
Please.
for him. 12. Hi, Prince Ryga Irwanan was at your fucking birthday? Is that when he gifted you? His old first mate?
Willow's not laughing. Mim is pointing at Willow and laughing. Willow's face goes a bit flat. Like, oops. They didn't mean to say that. They mean to goad him and stuff, but a lot of the time they do stuff without meaning to, you know? It's hard to tell the difference. This was one of those moments.
Yeah, this was
Oh, God.
a careless. I've stepped in it now.
Willow, in a kind of moment to like try and like alleviate it, says it wasn't actually a birthday party. It was a boat.
A boat what, exactly? The boat that you're sailing on? With the flag? Ryga was there? Come on, sound it out, Fen. Use your words.
I want to get back to the fight. I roll a 21 to try and get back into the fencing. Yeah, cool. I push him back so that he stops asking about it.
Yeah, so you push him back into the room. I think he can tell that you're getting flustered, and he's going to keep taunting you, but so far, you still have the upper hand in the spar.
Yeah, okay, I think Willow's going to say, now that they are controlling, they're in control of what they say, yeah? And I can tell that from how I am in control of what I do with my sword play. I've got him on the back foot, now I can talk. I didn't invite him.
He just showed up.
Luca invited him.
Of course, obviously. That's completely different.
I'm not trying to say it's different, I'm just saying I didn't plan it. I didn't want him there. You think I wanted him there? Think it isn't a risk to me to have him there? Please.
A risk or an opportunity? Seems to be working out pretty well for you. Just so happened to save a dragon-marked captain. And he just so happened to be Ryga's old mate. How fortunate. How many of our secrets did you hand over to get him on your side? 22 to attack?
No, 20!
Oh, what does this look like?
What does this look like? I rolled a nat 20, so what I think Willow's gonna do, very annoying of them, is lace the tip of their sword through the handle of his and snatch it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's pissed about that.
They bring it back into their hands, and with that nat 20 momentum, they'll say, "None, actually. Though, of course, I must have posed some kind of boon to the High Prince. Clearly, otherwise, I would be dead already. Or at least he would have tried. Apparently, according to everyone, I'm more useful alive." Willow now is holding both of the swords.
Cool. I think Koulton is going to make Koulton's going to pocket sand you with a gust cantrip to try and...
Oh.
So, please give me a dexterity save. To beat a 14.
Damn.
Fail.
11.
Yep. Cool. Koulton is going to make an athletics check. Like, he blasts you in the face with wind. What I imagine specifically is that, like, he swings up his hand and, like, a gust of wind, like, blasts you in the face and ears, and then the sound of it, like, makes you flinch. Just, like, pure reflex flinch. And he's gonna try and athletics check wrestle the sword out of your hand.
Oof. That's low.
That's low. Please make a contested athletics roll at disadvantage. Equal.
Same. Wait, does that mean I win? I beat it?
No, I think it means you're locked. I think that means
okay.
you're locked grips. He's got a hand on the sword.
Yeah, Willow's done that thing too when, like, because the gust hit them in the face and they're like, they're like holding their hands up, like keep away.
Yeah.
But I think he's kind of held them in that position of like hands up.
Yeah.
It is
weird
more
wrestle.
likely. It is more likely that Willow's going to drop both swords than it is that they're going to like relent because they're trying to focus on keeping upright.
Yeah. While you have your arms locked, Koulton's trying to wrench back his own sword. He says, "Don't I know it? Trust you've seen the posters?"
How can I miss him?
You must have kept your head real low for no one to have dragged you in. Living it up in a fishing village and all. Ah, that part not entirely honest, huh? And what were you up to? Forget the Whisperers. What happened to all those plans you had for the future of Khorvaire?
Oh. Oh, Willow, like, he's at close range, yeah?
Hmm.
Well, yeah, he's grappling his swords. Well, our swords. These swords. Anyway, Willow, like, twitches and pulls back. Depends. Are we talking before or after the explosion of Ciri?
Oof.
God damn. Another 7.
Roll
777.
777. Let's go.
Let's go. 4. I drop a sword.
Yeah.
I think I drop a sword and I kind of get into, like, his pinning is working. To be fair, I just brought up the Mournlands at myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think Willow, like, they like shove at that, like they don't want to be pinned while sharing that thought or hearing him talk like this.
Yeah. 5 insight check.
On wisdom? Oh, insight on Willow. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got nothing on a 5.
Good. Anyway. I think Willow, annoyed, will change topics. Or was it meant to be the Treaty of Thronehold thing where everyone comes together and decides, oh, war is bad, actually. Let's sign a note and prove that we could have done this 100 years ago.
He attacks you. So you win that bout. Your sword clashes off Koulton's and you force him back a few steps. Not quite to the starting position. I think he's looking around, trying to find a new opening. He's not sort of put out yet. And I think in trying to find an opening, he'll go for a verbal strike. Well, we can't all be lounging around, sipping beverages and making blenders.
I think Willow hesitates long enough that he can probably attack.
Okay. But he's not gonna hit in the 10.
Keep rolling with it. I got a 19. I think I just used that win to deflect him.
Yeah. So you deflect his blade, and Koulton is forced to reset his stance again. He gives a little scoff and says, "Or were you waiting for the prophecy to tell you what to do?"
Ugh. Well, I was gonna hit him. 22.
Willow's rolling very consistently good, but
Yeah.
not good enough this time. 26. He parries your strike and brings his own blade, sweeping in, catches you on the wrist with the flat part.
No.
Ah! Then again, you did get struck by ethereal lightning. He will attack again. 24.
17.
He's cornering you now against the stairs again. I think he follows it up with a really sort of fast skip or like a bound forward, like the fencing equivalent of a 1-inch punch. So there's no wind-up time for Willow to counter it.
Oh, that's so cool. No. Don't say.
I'll give it to you. The timeline sounds wild. So let me get this straight. You jumped ship, got your eyes blasted, wrecked your armor, spent years moping away in some fishing village. And after 5 years of all the ways for you to make your grand reappearance, the convocation, blowing shit up and dancing around at the fucking convocation, then you have the gall to say, "Come and find me." That's rich. Like you haven't been acting like some nobody. Finally found your spine, have ya?
Let me roll something. Let me just roll it to see,
Yeah.
but I'm determining how I honor it.
Pretty middle of the road.
Middle of the road. I have a thought process. Pardon me. I'm going to roll a charisma check. Do I have to do that? Oh, I was going to say at disadvantage, but I just rolled a 4. I'll roll a disadvantage. It's okay. This probably should have been like a persuasion, but like I rolled flat because it's kind of not. Basically,
it's the same.
Something in Willow's mind just twanged, snapped, let's say, with something that he just said. And Willow doesn't necessarily want to respond to it in words, but it's the kind of thing where like sword isn't enough. I think it's the computing of like, hold on now, shh, like to something in the back of their mind that's like beginning to twang.
Yeah.
Twinge.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've been dealing with the fallout of 2 traitors aboard the Storm Chaser. Managed to deal with the first one easy enough, but you... Oh, I've had my hands full cleaning up the mess you left. And your instruction manuals didn't help. Nor did your shitty fucking goodbye note, or your postbox stuffed full of letters. What a slog that was.
Oh. Willow, behind their glasses, you get the little, like, you can't see it, he can't see it, so he has no reason to stop, but Willow's eyes jump open.
Oh, and the trip to Dargoon was a fucking riot. But hey, you left me my pistol and that fancy new shield, so I have all I need to keep thriving. As if your gadgets would fix anything. He's attacking you again.
Ooh.
21.
I'm gonna do this at... Can I do that at disadvantage? Willow's distracted.
Yeah.
8.
That is a loss. A loss by a significant amount. What does it look like? He's been pushing you towards the stairs, but I think now he's coming at you from the side, so you're like now starting to be backed into a table. So you're like, he's now cutting off your escape.
Oof, jeez, I'm just trying to think how Willow processes.
Do you want to make a wisdom save? $21. That's a large success.
So what Willow was sinking into was, I betrayed the crew. I betrayed him at the worst possible time. Not that there's ever a good time to betray someone that you're close to, but you know, with what Claptrap told us about Lyranda amping up towards the end of the war, and then the Kraken Slayer crashing, and the crew being injured. I don't even know the full extent of that, but even amidst all that, I wasn't there. Like, I left them with all that mess. All of these things, plus a mailbox stuffed full of letters. I think the wisdom save helps Willow kind of put that little thing away for now. Because the overarching thing that Koulton is saying, or not saying, sort of bubbles up in the back of Willow's mind, like, hold the fuck on. Wait a fucking minute. Okay. Wisdom save, unfortunately, does not mean compassion. It's kind of the opposite for Willow. I think after all that, and he can see, I think the reason why he knows to dig in is that he can see that Willow's like withering a little, like he's winning this exchange, this bout. He's saying things that are landing. Like, of course, I don't imagine he's doing it like for that reason per se. But like, you know, when you get like bolstered by your own correctness, I feel like he's doing that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when Willow's like backed up against the table, I feel like you can kind of see it click on their face. They do a little like ear flicky head shake. And they'll go, sorry, am I supposed to be feeling sorry for you? And yeah, no, I think in the moment that he's like, he's still in their space, and I imagine that that reaction, that quick switch, kind of throws him.
Yeah.
Willow will say, "You think I just left of my own volition? Do you think I wanted to leave? How much of your role in this have you forgotten?" Willow is going to Willow grabs him by the jacket now.
Oh.
By the coat.
Cool.
And
I think
gets
contested
close to him.
Contested athletics roll, both at disadvantage. 8 on Koulton's behalf. Just roll better than that. You roll better than that. You grab him by the coat.
Willow leans in. "I did you a favor. You know I did you a favor. You know the only reason you're still sailing is because of me. In fact, the only reason you're still alive is because of me. So mind yourself before you blame the last 5 years on me. Because I did not run away from the only place I've ever felt safe because I wanted to."
Koulton's gonna try and wrestle out of this. Or rather, wrestle you differently. Can you please contest?
With what?
Athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Acrobatics. 'Cause
Athletics.
I imagine I'm weaving.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a 6.
That's the kind of, Willow knows that he's going to lash back, and they try and like preemptively get out of his way, but nope. I am holding him at close range.
Yeah, I think this turns into like a scuffle of like he grabs you back by like the front of your armor, like and is trying to like pull you basically into a point where he can like throw you.
Yeah, I sense that. I'm imagining those kind of like sideways momentum of like he's going to throw me over onto the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I lost.
the energy.
Does he manage?
I don't think so yet. I think this is the wind-up. Because he says, "Getting kind of tired of you doing me favors, Fen."
What do I roll? What am I rolling? What am I doing?
What do you want to do?
What's happening to me presently? Other than getting pissed off at Koulton.
I think he's grabbed you back and he has now control of the grapple. So he's like trying to like move you to a point where he can force you to drop the other your sword.
You know what?
This is starting to leave from duel into like full on scrap.
Can I just say that then my it's so funny you said that because this wouldn't have occurred to me otherwise. I think Willow is then going to he won this, so yeah, I'm not using my sword. Willow's gonna use Thunder Gauntlet.
Oh. Okay.
If he wants to wrestle, then we're wrestling, sure. I'm like this, I can tell from the pressure, I'm gonna be flung on the floor. Before I get there, I'm going to hit him.
Okay, roll to attack.
Damn.
I think he twists out of the way and your hand shoots out like past his torso.
I would say the Thunder Gauntlet, it was gonna be one of the clicks, like right near his ear.
Yeah.
It was like a get out of my freaking face, kind of like.
Yeah. In which case, this is a duck, and now he's like, this is he ducks out of the way of the click. It blasts overhead, and he like, basically like body tackles you to the floor with his like head down. This is like a rugby tackle.
Hell yeah.
Into the floor.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm already tackled. Deafens you, hopefully. Damn it. Okay.
So you are prone and grappled at the moment.
Is prone back or forward?
Back.
Damn. Okay. All right.
In this case, because he's on top of you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You've also grappled him, so he can't get up easily. Swords discarded.
Yes.
This is like on the floor.
Yeah. I think Willow, like, kind of like, how's he holding them?
I think it's like one hand on the chest, the other trying to like push your like dominant hand away to like prevent you from like
doing that again.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say one of my hands is on his coat and the other one is probably flailing at him, so I think he's keeping that one like out of commission, so I don't punch him.
Yeah.
More than I can say for you. You haven't given me a damn thing.
Damn, Willow. So while Koulton is like holding you out of the way, he leans in and says, "Oh, that's not true. I've given you plenty."
Say he's leaning in?
Yes.
Oh, like how close?
Not quite headbutt range.
Yes, that's why I was
But enough
asking.
that like yeah. But yeah. I do think he's leaned in enough that his hair is like falling into his face.
Ah, so like falling like around his face, near my face. I see. Like a okay, cool, great. Oh, okay. In saying that, then I think in response to what he says, Willow like it's okay. You see their nose wrinkle, like their eye might have twitched, and because they're still wriggling, I think like his
This
hair...
is very much a scuffle.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm imagining like his hair's falling past his face and getting like a little bit in my face as we're still like trying to fight each other. So like Willow like blows one of the strands away from their face and says, "Not lately."
Well, you haven't been around, have you?
Well, technically speaking, yes, I have.
Oh, fuck off with your technically speaking. He's trying to slam you into the ground.
I would like,
Deep rolled a 7.
Okay, what am I rolling? Athletics? Okay.
Athletics.
Yeah, I think this is all athletics, because we're wrestling.
Yeah.
Damn it, 7!
You stuck in stalemate.
Yeah, okay, Willow's gonna say, while pinned, what was I meant to do? Come back all soggy shit and sad and expect you to be nice about it?
I guess we'll never know.
Doesn't stop you from continuing to hold it against me.
And why shouldn't I? You left me in the dark for years. How hard is it to send a fucking letter?
Maybe. Okay, Willow's going to athletics. Roll him. Willow wants to switch it up. If they can't, oh well, I'll say it while I'm here.
Yeah.
7. Yes!
Natural 1 for a 6.
Natural 1!
Hey, you can put him however you want.
Hey. I imagine that hand that they've been struggling to find purchase, like he's been successfully holding it at bay, manages to finally like grab into his shoulder, like it breaches his constant blocking, and then they like use the momentum to roll him over.
Yeah.
So they are now pinning him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Willow grabs him, shoves him over, and now like is mounting the word I'm looking for?
They've straddled him.
Straddled. Yes. Okay.
They've straddled his
And
chest
now-
and is like.
Yes. I think they're on his stomach, and then they're kind of laying their like forearm across his chest, and then they've bunched up his like coat near his face.
Yeah.
It's their full body weight. Koulton's clearly stronger than them, but they're kind of like using their full body weight to try and like keep him in position.
Yeah.
And then I think Willow said something like maybe as they were rolling over. Was it maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think while pinned there, they like look down at him. You don't deserve to know. After all, last time I told you everything, you just ignored me anyway, so why would I come here open heart and tell you everything that's been happening? Sorry, I'm not as good at making everything about me as you are.
I don't think he responds in words. I think he's just trying to reverse the pin. 16.
10.
He lets go of you briefly to grab you by the elbows and again shift force his weight to pin you. So you still are strapped. You still have your legs around his chest, stomach,
yeah.
but he's rolled you over.
Yeah. Willow's being very MMA about this. It's no, I pinned you. I'm still pinning you, even if I'm upside down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we're deep in the grapple now.
Yeah. That does put me at risk of getting flattened and or thrown, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yep.
While I am still clung around him, Willow's gonna say, "What? No comeback?"
I think he's gonna grab you by the face.
Oh. Like my whole face?
Yeah.
If you had no intention to speak your mind, then why'd you keep running your fucking mouth?
Now, Willow's free hand comes up, grabs whatever hair has fallen over the front, and drags him in the other direction.
Ow.
I'm gonna roll strength, I guess.
Yeah.
At disadvantage, right? Why didn't he roll at disadvantage?
Oh, this was an attack roll.
Oh, then I will also roll an attack. Because that is an attack.
Yes, just unarmed attack.
Well, I still yanked it, but I don't think I did much damage.
Yeah. I think it's just a grab, but he sort of wind magic shakes it loose from your grasp. If you want to, you can attack again.
I think we're sort of stuck. Can I still be holding? Oh, he shook me loose?
He shook the hand on his hair loose, not the grip.
The other. Yeah, I'm gonna try and roll him again.
Go for it. Athletics roll contested.
Oops, this is at disadvantage, so.
Yes.
3!
Let's see if you roll.
I
Nope,
buck
19.
uselessly
Yeah.
against him, but that's just making me more catty, I think, in my fighting, so.
Yeah. You try and lift him off, and he slams you back down onto the floor. With his
Ow.
full body weight.
Mm-hmm. Willow will, okay, in the absence of physical, Willow runs their mouth. So with a huff, now that Willow's face is free from his hand, they'll say, "Fine, I can leave if you want."
You gonna jump again? It's getting old. Maybe this time you'll have the guts to say goodbye to my face. You can skip the kiss goodnight.
Excuse me. Pardon me. That pisses Willow off. That pisses Willow off, actually. Does he have... What's near my head?
What are you looking for?
His arm.
Sure.
What do I roll to bite?
I would say this is a strength-based unarmed attack. That'll
just
deal
strength?
one... Yeah, so just strength, 1d4 damage.
Damn, 5. You hear the click of Willow's teeth as they're about to are at his arm.
I think there's a little jerk and then a...
Oh, did that make you mad?
I think there's a little pause as he's holding you down, having just seen and heard you try to bite him, and there's a little sneer, almost look of disappointment on his face, and he goes,
It's such a shame. I didn't want to believe it at first, but you've gotten rusty.
Oh my god. Oh, I can't be doing that again. What can I do? Magic missile? Or another thunder gauntlet?
I was about to offer you a devil's bargain.
Oh? What?
Which is Willow can get a hit in on him, but in exchange, they have to verbally snap.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm desperate enough to use magic missile, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. He's pissed me off, but I want to hit him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thunder gauntlet. If I miss, he can keep pressing.
Okay.
The devil... I am stronger than the devil. I'm kidding. But we'll see what happens with my... I'm going to hit him with thunder gauntlet while he's in the middle of being like, you're rusty. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Willow rolls a 20.
That hits.
Yep, to clock him, I reckon right in the face.
Shall he take the 5 damage?
Doesn't he halve it?
He does halve it, yes. Because it is thunder damage.
Yeah, so like 3. I think he takes the damage of the fist hitting his face more than the lightning damage.
Yeah.
Which Willow really locked into that one, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good, like, dazing kind of punch.
Yeah. Yeah, you give him an 2 points of damage nosebleed.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Okay. And with that, I think Willow rolls over again, so they're on top of him now. Like, they use the...
Roll athletics flat, because I will say the punch has given you advantage, canceling out your disadvantage. Still a disadvantage, because he's tired.
Damn, 8. Okay, I don't get to roll.
Nope.
Damn.
Unless you want to take that devil's bargains.
No, I think basically I was using that to help me decide whether because I'm trying to think of what what constitutes a breakdown enough for me to make a deal with the devil. And now I'm just thinking of all of the things that Willow can say.
This is I'm taking you down with me bargain.
Oh, Willow's expert at this one.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord above. Okay, so Willow punches him in the face, tries to use that to their advantage, doesn't, but then I think that's... I just want to roll this for posterity. Nope. Now we know that I need the devil. Okay. I'm gonna say that the punch knocks him enough that Willow's able to shoulder him over and land on him. Now, both hands at his shirt, like over his chest. And I'm gonna say when Willow lands on him, he has that little bit of a daze of like, Willow punched him good.
Yeah.
So there's a moment for them to like look at him, and also their hands over his chest, looking down at the scar. I feel like a sort of heaviness descends over Willow. Same kind of, I'd say the darkness of a storm cloud, but I think with Willow it's a lot more like the feeling of pressure when you're sinking.
Yeah. The darkness of the waves.
Yeah, I think Willow looks almost like they're about to like inhale and say something else catty. There's so much low-hanging fruit that they can keep going for. And then Willow, as I am also going through Willow's entire life in my mind, I feel like Willow has like a moment of reflection. Even just looking at him and how different he looks. He's the same, he's still Koulton, but like he looks so different from just even the memory they had earlier of him. And all the things he's saying. I think the first thing Willow says to him is, "That's what happens to things left at the bottom of the sea, huh? They rust. I'm rusty. I'm weaker. I didn't come back because I'm a coward. The same coward you called me before I left. Couldn't come back empty-handed, could I? Couldn't come back broken and injured, couldn't come back angry, couldn't come back winning, couldn't come back losing. There was no good timing for my return. There was no good way to return. And Willow, their eye keeps kind of going down to his chest again and back up. It's to the scar.
Yeah.
It's like every time it catches in their peripherals, it's like dealing another slog of psychic damage. And I think that little box that they shoved the post box into
Yeah.
in their mind a little while ago is just like appearing on the surface again as this like heavy underwater feeling keeps overtaking them.
Yeah.
Don't break what you can't fix. Don't start a fight that you can't finish. Well, apparently I broke your fucking heart, so what am I supposed to do about that?
I think there's a dazed look from Koulton of like the vibe has changed.
Yeah, no, and Willow's like got it's a dark energy. That's all I can say. Willow's brought an incredibly bad mana to the chat tonight. Yeah. Willow's gonna say, I can say all I want about you mistreating me before I left. I came back. I'm here now. You know what's funny? I keep bringing up the hag, but you don't have the context, you see, because I have been underwater since I left. Let's get that part straight, Koulton. I didn't leave and thrive in your absence. I left, and I floated, and I drifted, and nothing happened. Years passed in a blink of an eye. I have no idea what to say about that time in the interim. Why I've come back? Why 6 months ago? I don't know. It's the first time in years that I've surfaced for air, yes? And the first time I surfaced for air, first time in years, where's the first place that I looked? Not Siri, not even Dallybrook, it was home. Storm Chaser. And then I built up everything in me to come back here, just for it to fall again.
I'm gonna roll an insight check for Koulton. 10.
I think Willow's shivering a little bit. Willow will say, what am I supposed to do about this? How am I supposed to fix this? How am I supposed to fix any of this? How am I supposed to fix any of it? You're not the only person that I haven't contacted. You're the first person I have contacted. And you have the audacity to act like a victim about it.
I think Koulton is just speechless and staring at you.
I've always seen to the end of things. And you've always listened. But I didn't run away to the ends of the earth for fun. I didn't. I think with a kind of looking him directly in the eyes. So hard to admit. Willow says that out loud, actually. It's so hard to admit it out loud, isn't it? I made all the choices. I sabotaged the ship. I did everything. I dumped the weapons. I got rid of the ring. I was in control of that situation, but still, even so. I didn't just jump, did I? I was pushed. At that, Willow lets go of his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And will leave.
Yep. We cut the scene.
Okay, so we need like a 10-minute break, right?
So that's the
Yeah,
end of it.
we're-
Yeah, bye guys. Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
It was nice seeing you. See you next week. Bye.
We return to Fort Fathomless. Luca and Wolfram IV leaving the Castellan's office. Wolfram closes the door behind him and starts walking down the corridor, waiting for Luca to follow.
Oh, he waits for me, does he?
Well, expecting you to follow.
Yeah. Yes, I'm following. A little bit dazed. I think Luca can tell that that did not go well for the most part.
He walks for a while. Once you're well out of earshot, he says, "So,
He's very intimidating, isn't he?
my father is a renowned and feared general of our order.
Aspirational? Luca is directly asking if that's how Wolfram would like to be.
It is my right and my duty to inherit his station. We're being led towards whatever the preparation chamber is."
Luca is trying to distract himself a bit because he knows that whatever is there is going to be trying
Huh?
with like idle chatter with Wolfram. So innocuous like questions that won't raise suspicion, I guess. Just things like, oh wow, your father's so intimidating, tell me about his history, blah blah blah.
Okay, make a persuasion check, please.
That's a natural 27. No, wait, that's a dirty 27. My mistake.
Jesus, your charisma. Also, you should not have Sentinel's intuition on this, so it's only a 23.
Oh, my mistake. I
You're
pressed the
good.
wrong P button. Yeah, anything about the Castellan's history?
Yeah, so... Yes, I think on a 23, Wolfram begins talking relatively easily about his father's history as he leads you through the halls of Fort Fathomless.
Oh, before we get in, I wanted to ask if I could make a roll to recall the path between Wolfram's room and the Castellan's room.
Yes. Yes, so this is either an intelligence check or a survival check.
Well, one of those is not at a -1, so we'll go with that. That's a 7. We'll say no.
So where were we?
Castellan's history.
Yes. I'll do this in reported speech.
Yes, thank you.
So, the Castellan inherited this position from his father, who had gotten it from his near the beginning of the last war. Or actually slightly predating it. So from King Jarrett.
Oh.
King Jarrett's time. The Caius I, who was then the ruler of Karnath, but before the dissolution of the empire, this military outpost was established as basically a sort of border patrol or resupply station for vessels in the North Sea above Khorvaire.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's been passed down through the generations. Wolfram talks about his father's military accomplishments as a general and tactician of the Carnathi military as part of the Order of the Emerald Claw.
Mm-hmm.
The Order of the Emerald Claw was established partway through the war. So not at the very, very beginning of it, but like close to the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
When Karnath first embraced the Blood of Vol as the main state religion. There's a lot of family history tied up in this place.
And a lot of ego.
Yep.
What direction are we heading? Are we,
Downstairs, back to the ground
Okay.
floor,
Okay.
and deeper within Fortress. You're not going down the elevator,
Okay.
so not that deep,
Cool.
but sort of you're still like well above the waterline.
Okay.
But you are going further in towards the structure, so further away from exterior walls.
Great. Love it here.
Eventually, Wolfram reaches a specific door and opens it. The first thing that hits you as you enter is the smell. Heavy dust, sour with traces of rot and old blood, and just a whiff of ammonia, barely masked by the faded scent of incense. After a moment to adjust, your eye is immediately drawn to the center of the room, where a large cast iron slab, rough and pitted, hangs from the ceiling on thick black chains at each of its corners. There are runes inscribed all along its edges, partially obscured by the dark stains dried in smears across its surface. Next to the door, there's a long bench, taking up most of the wall, scattered with crude but sharp-looking surgical tools, a couple of inkwells, a bowl of jagged, cut, black onyx stones gleaming in the stark light, and a few clay jars crusted in salt and dirt around their rims. A large glass case sits at the far end of the workbench. Inside, the skeletal remains of a seal make a playground for a nest of hide beetles, scuttling to and fro on their many legs. The bones are stark white, picked clean. The only other things in here are a few plain wooden barrels and simple-made stretchers propped up in the corner.
Luca struggles not to bring his hand to cover his face. Just from this,
The smell.
like the, what do you call it? Like that dill air, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Stagnant.
the smell. Stagnant
Yeah.
air and smell is too much for him. Almost.
Make a Constitution saving throw, even.
Oh, cool. Cool. Oops. No, wait, that's right. Oh, yep, that's an 11.
Yeah. You, like, have a momentary flinch, but you manage to muster enough wherewithal to not immediately cover your mouth
Cool.
and nose.
Cool, I'm strong. I'm so strong.
Yeah.
Wolfrin came into this room, I'm assuming?
Yes. He
Cool.
led you into
I mean-
this room.
Yep, okay. Luca stands by the door, observing. Everything in him wants to leave, but he doesn't. But he waits.
Wolfrin heads through a second door deeper in the chamber. And tells Luca, grab one of those stretchers.
Cool. Yep. Okay. Doing that. This feels like too much overlay with stuff I did in the poppy. It feels fucked up. Okay. Doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it silently. Doesn't like the rusty squeak of the metal. No.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I'm cool. I got an 11. I'm fine. Give it to me, Zeke. What's in the next room?
You go through 2 doors. There's like a little hallway antechamber before you go past a thick metal stone door. Like, it's stone with like metal bindings, heavily insulated. Wolfram unlocks it with a gesture. Clearly some magical implementation. And inside is a dark chamber. Everywhere in this castle so far has been lit quite starkly by these like pale, cold white lights, magical lights that sort of give it this like strange, timeless feeling of like the sky is so gray outside and the few windows that you see that it like is unclear what time of day it is. This chamber, however, that Wolfram has opened is dark and freezing cold. The good thing is that the cold means that you can't smell anything, as Wolfram walks you in, creates like a mote of light, and selects from a shelf a withered, frostbitten corpse.
Yeah. How many people are in here?
Make a perception check.
Okay. I think Luca tries not to look, but he can't not look. Oh, I wish I didn't see on a 17.
You count spaces enough for 24 bodies, but there are only, let's say, 8 remaining.
I see.
And they've been here for a very long time. Together with Wolfram, you place the corpse on the stretcher, wheel it out of the room and into the preparation chamber.
Cool.
Wolfram begins taking out supplies from the workbench and cabinets to clear and prepare the table.
What does this person look like?
It's very hard to tell. Their features are so withered by the cold that they're basically mummified.
Oh, cool.
If you've ever seen pictures of an ice mummy, it's kind of one of those.
Yeah. Cool. Luca has a complicated relationship with the dead in general, especially for someone with the blood of Vol. I think, given generally they're pretty neutral about bodies as a concept. You know what I mean? The undead aren't really people anymore. But there is still a part of Luca that can't help but feel a connection between the person that was and the person that isn't.
You're still pretty new to the Blood of Vol, and you came to it like via Seeker Elsa, via like basically a medical clinic where you were doing everything in your power to prevent death in the first place. To preserve life, essentially. And this is very much the side that does not do that. This is the side that exploits death.
Mm. And I do think that there is enough of a disconnect between let's say a dry skeleton and this sort of body that
Yeah.
Luca has been able to separate a little bit better in his mind. This feels too close to things he has made. Doesn't want to think about that.
Give me a charisma or deception check.
Passion, disgrace. Evil is plain as the scar on his face. Oh, 18.
You managed to keep your face neutral.
Luca is aware enough of himself that he steps around the stretcher and goes over to hover over Wolfriend to see what he's doing. At the very least, this is something he may do himself in the future. Not so shamefully, but still. So he can learn. He can use this.
Wolfriend is basically wiping down the table, reactivating bits of magic, setting up ingredients, so on for the necromantic ritual. Whatever ritual his father has commanded him to do, sets the body on the cleared preparation table. It's very, like, detached, mechanical sort of movements. This feels very much like this is something that he has done before.
Yeah. Confident in what he does?
Make an insight check.
24.
Ooh. Confident is not the right word. Practiced, yes.
Okay.
There is a degree of tension about him, not in handling the body, but
He doesn't want to do it wrong.
yeah. It's the kind of tension you would expect from a student before an exam.
Oh. That's sweet.
Is it?
Yeah, I have to have tiny little moments here, man.
Oh, that's humanizing.
Luca has the moment of, oh, that's sweet. He's done this before. He's done this. Hundreds of people. People who are no longer people. They are just husks. Oh, ugh. Feels sick.
Mm-hmm. So, after a little while of you hovering and watching him, Wilfred says, "Space."
Oh. My apologies. You're just proficient. I thought it would be a learning opportunity. Steps back. Cool. It's fine. I don't have to distract myself from this moment. I can just be in it and not be sick.
If you wish to observe, you can pull up a chair.
Does he not like that I'm taller than him?
It was more the, like, you're getting in his way. And we would rather you
yeah,
sit.
okay, sure, sure.
Because
It was
of
rather-
him.
Yeah.
And really muscular to boot.
Yeah. I'm sexy and I'm cute and I'm popular to boot.
Whatever gets you through.
Alright.
Let me have this.
No, babes, it's all yours.
Okay, Luca steps back, grabs a chair, He doesn't want to sit down, but he will because he's certain his leg will start bouncing or he'll like tap his hands. So he just sits on his hands, literally, and leans forward slightly, watching, observing. Can I roll something to see how well I follow what he's doing?
Yeah, I would say a perception check or like a medicine check.
What's my medicine? Yeah, let's go medicine. That's the angle he's coming at it from. 13.
Yeah. I feel like it's not enough to distract you from the horror,
Cool.
but it gives you a point to anchor yourself of like, I have medical training. I can follow what is happening, even if I
Yeah.
hate it here.
Yeah, okay, cool. I can learn. I will remember this. Unfortunately, I know very well I will remember this. So, may as well use it.
Question mark?
Yeah.
So, Wolfrin prepares a tray of tools and puts on a set of like thick gloves and an apron.
Ugh, gross. Does he answer if I ask him questions?
What questions do you ask?
What everything is, what he's doing, literally train me kind of questions.
I think he answers in a very rote way, of
Okay.
like, "What's that?" But he doesn't offer additional explanation.
Okay, not a very good teacher then.
No,
No,
why would he be?
that's true. He's a student. Exclusively. Okay.
Eventually, the Castellan arrives. Some, let's say, nearly 30 minutes
Oh my god.
after you'd left the office.
Mm-hmm.
It did take you a while to like get here,
Yeah.
and prepare everything. So you've probably only been waiting at the ready for about 10.
Yep. Cool.
Castellan enters the room and says, "Huh. Good. You've made preparations. Today you will be attempting to create the most rudimentary of ambulatory necromantic constructs. And if you can do it with success, perhaps we'll have you move on to more advanced techniques." From the fourth says, "Yes, sir." Castellan says, "Very well. You know what you must do, then. Falconterm, have you ever seen the creation of a crawling claw?
God, have I?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, no.
I'm gonna say not with Seeker Elsa, but you can try and roll a history check or an intelligence check.
Very good history for this. 15.
You know what they are. You want to guess, Sarah, what it is?
What?
What do you think a crawling claw is?
Like a fucking dog, man. I don't know.
You're so stressed.
I'm so stressed. I'm sweaty.
A crawling claw is an animated, severed human hand.
Oh, just the hand. Fun. Luca recites that in a very dry way, like he's reading it from a textbook.
Okay. I see you know what one is, but have you ever seen the creation of one?
Luca shakes his head.
Then this should be illuminating for you. Wolfrin.
Oh, cool. We're gonna
There.
cut it up? Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
mean.
Hey,
That's so
I
mean.
have one of hers.
Yeah, right in front of you and your arm.
That's so mean.
Really? In front of my prosthetic?
Yeah.
I was looking around like, damn, hope no one around here has arm chop off trauma, because
That would
Wait,
suck.
very specifically.
Yeah.
Man. Wait, that's so insensitive of them.
Do they look like a sensitive bunch?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's so rude.
This just in, Fort Fathomless doesn't have sensitivity training.
Gee!
Oh man.
The evil, cruel people are evil and cruel. Who could have seen it?
I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed.
It's honestly exactly what I'd expect from this kind of man.
You know, he looked at your arm, went, pity. Prepare the
I know
severed
what I'm
hand.
doing tonight.
Lifts the meat chopper.
What a bitch. Castellan, you're an asshole. God. Anyway.
No. Continue. Thank you, Zeke, for this meal, I guess.
Ooh. You watch as Wolfram tries to take a blade to the wrist of the corpse, and the Castellan says, "Stop." Wolfram stops immediately. Have I taught you nothing? Identify the tendons first. Wolfram pauses and then twists the hand around to point out where the ligaments lie beneath the skin. You can hear the frozen flesh cracking a little bit with strain, like a tree branch being pushed by a heavy gale. That sort of dry, droning sound, but very low and subtle.
Luca feels it. In his prosthetic more than anything, he feels it.
Castellan says, "And you remember where to make the incisions. You want to avoid the wrist bones, not just hack off part of the arm." Wolfram tries again.
Oh, honey.
It is slow and just barely competent.
Ugh. Luca feels like instinct well up inside of him. Unfortunately, part of him wants to, like, bless this poor boy. He stops himself. But for a moment, he's like, I can fix this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wolfram completes the amputation. And Castellan says, "Suppose you haven't made a complete pig's ear of it." He leans in and expects.
Luca leans in too without meaning to. He's curious. At
Make
least a
a
little
make a
bit.
medicine check.
14.
He's erred on the side of cutting too close to the wrist bones
Mm.
in his attempt to avoid the arm bones where they connect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like ragged bits of sinew and skin, and the cut is not very clean.
Mm.
It is not a smooth, continuous cut, but like there are jagged edges. The Castellan takes time to point out the exact flaws in the technique.
Of course he does. He said this was if he can complete this level of rudimentary work to a satisfactory degree, he can move on to more complicated things.
Yes.
Can I, like, retroactively roll something to figure out what he meant by that?
Sure, you can make I think this would be an intelligence check.
Cool. My strong suit. That's a 14. That's...
Okay.
Wow. I'm impressed with myself.
Yeah, well done. Wolfrun has clearly been sort of stuck at this level of, like, studying the theory and possibly doing this maybe once or twice before, certainly observing it before.
Right. Okay.
But he is being tested on this.
Oh, that's mean. He tested it in front of somebody.
Yep.
This guy's not nice. Not nice, Bryce. Anyway, Luca sees the imperfections in his cutting technique. Cool.
Yep. The Castellan says, continue. And Wolfrun says, should I not remove the rest of the body? The Castellan gives him a look like, are you an imbecile? Sort of like exasperated. Of course you are supposed to remove the rest of the body.
Luca goes and does it, just instinctively, gets it out of the way.
And the Castellan says, halt. Stay where you are.
Yep, okay. Raises a hand like, yeah, sure.
Wolfrun clears the body away, leaving the severed hand on the table. The Castellan meets your eyes.
Luca is observing him back, I think, now.
Cool. Mutual insight check, please.
Ha! See if I can roll better. Dirty 20, bitch! What did he get? Say it for me!
He got an 8.
Yes! Okay.
What would you like to know?
I would like to know... Does he think his son has value? Does he have any feelings towards him that aren't as a tool?
I'm gonna let this insight check ride through the rest of the interaction, through the rest of the scene.
Cool. Thanks.
Would you like another? Oh, are you still going with your questions? Because I have a thought.
Yeah, if you have other questions. That's like the main one Luca is honing in on for the moment because he has feelings, apparently.
Sorry, I shouldn't interrupt the scene. You carry on.
No, give me demon.
You want?
Return to me.
Oh, okay. Little Navi button just went off.
Yeah.
Do you not want to consider what he's trying to communicate to you?
Oh my god, can I?
That too.
He's looking at you.
Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't know if that was... I didn't even consider that as a thing that I could do.
Would Luca?
Yeah, probably. He's smarter than I.
Luca's in this situation and fears for his life. Sarah is just fear.
It's like you've looked up, you see that someone is staring at you. It feels like this is meant for you to be watched. Like what's
what is he trying to see?
Situation?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What is he trying to see?
You can tell that he is trying to take the measure of you and your reactions to this ritual. And he is very deliberately not letting you assist, both as a test of how much you respect his authority, as much as it is a test for Wolfrun to do alone.
Okay, I can play that game. Easy enough.
As for what he feels towards his son, we will continue the scene and it will become apparent.
Yes. Cool. I love that.
Wolfrin returns, having deposited the rest of the corpse back in the freezer, and begins setting up ritual materials around the severed hand. Do an Arcana check.
Oh, man.
He rolled an 8, and
No, this is
immediately
good. This is good. I can work
the
with this.
Castellan says, "Stop. What do you think you're doing?" Wolfrin begins to answer, and the Castellan cuts him off. "Clearly you're not thinking at all." And there's just like a volley of dry, critical reminders of the procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson on 20 insight. Clearly the Castellan isn't raising his voice.
Is this one of those instances where that is worse?
Hard to tell.
Okay.
You don't think he's in the habit of raising his voice in general,
Hmm.
but there is a very belligerent sense of like, do it right.
Well, if he had a good teacher. Anyway. Not my place to say. What do I know? I'm just the meat. Continue.
And the Castellan says, "Repeat that back to me." And Wolfrin hesitates, inhales sharply.
Yay!
Repeats it back to him. Repeats the diction, the order of operations back in perfect clarity. The Castellan says, You may continue. Wolfrin begins to set up the ritual, now more clearly.
And just through casual observation, can I tell if he's doing it properly?
Make an Arcana check.
Arcana is nothing. Sorry, that's a 9.
Ooh.
Never mind.
Looks legit to you. I don't know.
Based on the words that were just said, it looks good. Yeah, cool. Continue.
Wolfrin sets it up by taking ink and needle and beginning to inscribe runes into the severed hand itself.
Mm-hmm.
Sets up a small ritual circle using a small measurement of what you now understand to be grave dirt.
Mm-hmm. From the seal or from elsewhere?
From the jar of earth.
Okay. Previously acquired dirt. Cool.
Yes. And then finding a tiny sliver of chipped onyx,
Mm-hmm.
and after speaking ritual incantation over it for about a minute, uses a pair of needle nose sort of forceps to part the tendons
Mm-hmm.
and flesh at the severed wrist and embed the dull green glowing black crystal within the hand. Let's go to make one more Arcana check. 22.
Oh, buddy. Luca is idly turning the dial on his watch behind his back. His hand feels detached.
Yeah. There's a sort of numbness in your body where you can feel where the prosthetic attaches to the stump of your arm.
I can distinctly remember the feeling of it knitting together when it was healing. Yeah, cool. Go ahead.
Wolfrin the Fourth places the now prepared hand within the ritual circle that he's created upon the iron slab table and completes the ritual.
Yay.
As you watch this, you watch the Castellan, his furrowed brows smoothing ever so slightly, a faint curl at the corner of his lips, a look of quiet satisfaction.
Satisfaction is a good word.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pride at a child doing well, it's feeling of a tool working properly. Continue.
Wolfrin completes the incantation, and there is a flash of dark green magic that soaks into the severed hand. A pause, and then the fingers begin to twitch and creak as the hand slowly animates and curls into a fist. Then, with a sudden movement, like a spider jumping out, it flips over onto its fingers and stands on its fingertips.
Ew.
It scuttles slightly and then turns towards Wolfram the Fourth. Castellan says, "A botched job in some places, but you salvaged it." Wolfram says, "Sir?" "I would say we are not far off from advancing your studies. Your knife work could use some practice. You'll have to go hunting again, find some live specimens to dissect." Wolfram says, "Yes, sir." There is a quiet excitement in him.
Great. Good for him. Hunting for what? There's nothing to hunt around here.
You know.
Okay, fine. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just
I mean, there's
stupid.
the Wolford has a seal skin cloak, and there's a dead seal in the box. So it could be animals.
Ugh. Okay. Anyway, continue. Hate it here.
Yeah. The Castellan then says, "Show me your arms," to Wolfram. Wolfram removes the gloves and apron and rolls up his sleeves, exposing his forearms to show more of these intricate scrolling black tattoos just all over him that you saw like a little bit up the side of his neck. Give me a perception check, Luca.
Yeah, give me. Damn it! That's a 9.
9. They are elaborate and all over him. Clearly. Like if they stretch up, like you can see them like stretching up the inside of his like sleeves where they clearly continue up his arms and like along his back. The Castellan takes his son's arm and turns one over, inspecting it closely. Then the other. We'll need to do some touch-ups on these.
Oh, cool. Get some fly new ink, son.
You're progressing well enough. Continue to apply yourself, and perhaps we will be on track with your education. He turns to you, Luca, says, Soured your stomach yet, Falcon Term?
Oh, is he permitting me to speak now?
Yes.
I've done worse.
And yet you seemed so soft-hearted about the undead.
Luca looks over at the hand. The crawling claw. Does wasted potential not sicken you?
Make a persuasion check.
Ugh, 13.
I've lived too long to be upset by such trivialities. Potential is not wasted if it was never there in the first place.
Luca pointedly glances at Wolfren. And then back to the Castellan like he's making a point.
Oh. Oh my. He doesn't catch that.
It's so cool right now, and it's wasted! Anyway.
This is in your favor, I will say.
Okay, fine.
Whew. I mean, that's what you meant to say, right? Lucky.
Yep, sure. Continue with your wasted potential monologue, sir.
He says, what matters more is making efficient use of resources granted, even if they are slim pickings.
Luca nods like that's a fair point. Casually.
The Castellan says to his son, cleaning up the preparation chamber. I will see you at evening meal. Wolfren says, yes, sir. And then the Castellan pauses in the doorway and says, oh, and you have my permission to show our guest the facilities, should it interest him. The Castellan departs after saying that cryptic statement. And Luca, you are left alone in the room with Wolfren and the crawling claw.
Cool.
That
What's
is-
it doing?
It is standing at attention. As much as a hand can stand.
Basically like a spider now, right?
Yep.
Okay. What's Wolfren doing? What's his vibe?
I think like there's an one. Give me an insight check.
Nope, 10. Okay. I'm annoyed.
I think you Yeah, I think you catch like a tiny bit of like, huh, that's done. But then he quickly goes back into like work mode again.
Luca claps him on the back of the shoulder.
I think he startles at that.
Well done.
Make a persuasion check.
Yep, there we go. That's
Ooh.
25.
Wow, damn, that's telling.
What's this? Positive reinforcement?
Yeah.
How's that make you feel, buddy?
Well done. Roll a persuasion check is the craziest exchange. Someone smiled at me. Roll a persuasion check. What's happening? Oh my god. Carry on.
He sort of shrugs off the hand on his shoulder and says, naturally.
No, I didn't like put my hand on his shoulder. I smacked him on the back, basically.
Oh, okay.
Big old
Yeah,
smack.
he does still like shrug his shoulders like he's sort of shaking off the feeling a little bit. You know, like when somebody hits you and then you're like, ugh. Unexpected physical contact.
Sorry. Sorry, about to get into it. Luca stands next to him and helps start cleaning up. And then pointedly looks down at his arms. Curious about his tattoos, openly. Very much openly.
They are arcane enhancements from my father.
Luca opens his palm, expecting to be given his arm.
If I persuasion check will ride.
Hell yeah.
Wolfram rolls up his sleeve and offers his arm.
Luca holds it with his flesh hand and shows him the inside of his wrist on the porcelain hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then starts pointing out the bone paths and tendons as he gently flexes his wrist. Wolfram's wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And then slides his finger up one of the tattoos and just slowly traces out
I think before you get that far, I think the like point, I think he stops you at the pointing at the wrists and tendons. He says, I know I could have done better on the incisions.
that's something that comes with practice. This is your first time.
No.
Oh no, I'm gonna break him. Luca gives him a sheepish like smile, like, sorry. Still, practice.
Yes.
But if I may offer a mote of wisdom.
Speak.
Luca has his like wrist in his hand, right? So
Wolfram's wrist or Luca's own wrist?
Wolfram's.
No, I think he pulled it away.
Luca off. Open his hand again, like give it back. Give it back. Drop it. Wiggles his fingers like, come on. Come on.
Training him like a fucking dog.
Him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reluctantly gives you his arm back.
Okay, I'll be not so, let's say, intimate and just like hold his wrist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Luca activates his lay on hands, just the one point that he had left.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolfram feels the warmth and like at every contact point,
Mm-hmm.
like a bone deep warmth. And then as Luca releases his wrist and makes a gesture that he can take it back, he'll see the glow on his skin that seeps into him and feel that kind of tingling sensation that I would compare to like skincare products. It's not uncomfortable or like painful or anything. It's just tingly, right? And Luca says, for what it's worth, magic isn't so strict. It can be flexible.
He says, you have healing abilities.
Luca nods, among other things.
Curious. I suppose that would explain your soft-heartedness.
Luca kind of quirks the brow. You're changing the subject.
Did Luca ask if he's changing the subject, or?
No, he said it blatantly, like accusing him, gently accusing him, like, I see what you're doing.
My father's methods are very particular.
That's maybe true. Luca goes back to cleaning. But magic is a culmination of wisdom. Don't you think it's possible that you could add your own to it?
I think he just lets that sit.
Goes back to cleaning. Luca blatantly avoiding looking at the claw.
Yeah. So, we cut to the interior of the Fort Fathomless dungeons, where Anne and Dorna are still breaking skeletons. Anne, would you like to roll me a D100?
Yes. I'd also like to roll some hit dice real quick before we get into anything else.
Roll your hit dice first, and then please roll me a D100 for your sabotage.
Yes.
Was that from the short rest you took last session?
Yeah.
Yes.
Since Anne took a short rest earlier when they were sitting in the cave, yes I'm going to roll.
Yes.
The hit dice are 2, considering. Oh, that's not bad for my first one. I'm going to roll
Hey.
2. Ooh,
Hey!
Okay, so how much does that get me? Let me just add that in. So I think I'll stick with that. That's a good amount, and I'll just save the rest for later in case it's needed, which it might be.
Yeah,
So just play it safe.
Yep. Roll a D100, please.
42.
Good to know. I'll keep that in the back pocket. So, you have done a pretty thorough job of pulverizing the remains of the skeletons.
Into the Eldritch Blender.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's like no intact bones remaining. Every bone is broken.
It looks like it snowed in here.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not that I would know what that looks like.
Yeah. Dorna calls out to you. I'm finished over here. How about you?
Yeah, looking pretty powdery over here. Good job. Up top, down low, and puts up their hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Dorna gives you a high five with her massive bugbear hands.
Yeah.
Her massive furry hands.
Nice.
Your own hand feels a little bit like warm from like just the amount of eldritch blasting you were doing.
Yeah, like the friction of like rubbing your hands together really hard. I can imagine it's kind of like that, but I haven't been doing that. I've just been blasting.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. It occurs to you haven't heard from anybody in a while.
Well, I haven't asked. technically.
Yeah, true. True.
Did I ask? It's kind of a necessary component.
You actually hear Garrus in your mind now, like, and please contact me. I'm so afraid.
Please text me back. Yeah, I mean, Anne has checked in with Willow and Luca recently, but they might as well check in with the basement. Like, well, I can imagine Dorn is like doing one last little round to make sure we didn't miss a single bone, and like leans up against the wall.
I think she's just kind of like kicking things.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Like kicking her feet through the powder.
The bones. Yeah.
The ground bones.
The shrapnel.
Yeah.
It like yours are much more powdery than hers, which are more like gravel.
Yeah, it's a good mixture. By our powers combined, we can create a beach. Yeah, so Dorn is kicking through the bone meal, and will lean up against the wall, and then flick their book open, and reach out to Gardenia in the basement, and just pretty much ask updates.
You send the message off. I would like you to roll a dex saving throw, please.
Okay. Oop. 7.
Ooh. So as you finish writing updates, you feel like a spasm crawl up your arm and like lodge in your magical eye like a headache. And there's like a little sort of like almost a tiny eldritch blast as like your pen goes flying across the room. You're like, ugh.
Does it go into the elevator shaft?
Please roll for it. Please roll for it.
Were you facing the elevator shaft?
Yeah, Ed was leaning against a wall, so like technically.
Let's
Please roll. This could be so
let's
funny.
roll. Let's roll a d10.
Okay.
And that's how many feet it flies away.
Neat.
Oh no.
Almost. It's right on the edge, but it doesn't fall into the elevator shaft. Thank goodness.
It's 5.
Oh shit! Is that the only pen that N has?
Oh my god.
I think the rest are left aboard the
I'm pretty
ephemeral
sure
chaos.
Oh no!
Well, I guess
You
I'm
got
writing in
10
blood.
knives and 1 pen?
Look, in my case, the knife is mightier than the pen. Because I have 10 of them. Anyway.
Yes. So true.
Yes. The pen goes flying out of Ben's hand, and they're like, oh. Like, first it's like, oh, headache. Oh, Ben. And just like the combination of the two has Ed just kind of standing there dumbfounded as they watch the pen, like, fly off and then like spin across the ground towards the lip of the elevator shaft, and they don't do anything about it immediately because they're still trying to process what the fuck just happened. So they're just watching it go, and by the grace of the sovereigns, it does not go down the elevator shaft.
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of flex your hand and like squint your eyes like you're trying to blink off the like sudden headache. It's like this weird sort of fizzling sensation, like almost like a wire shorting from overuse.
Gee, I wonder why that would be. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and walk it off. Walk the 5 feet over to my fallen pen, and and like touches it briefly, like touching a hot surface, kind of very brief fingertip tap on the pen to like see if 1, it's hot, or 2, they blast it again just on contact.
Yeah. No second blast, but it is weird. This is the first time that's ever happened to you. You're starting to feel a bit of the pressure sort of getting to you of everything.
It's fine. I just need a snack. That's it. And then I'll be all good. And picks up the pen.
Yeah. You hear back from Gardenia over the far scribe. Or actually, you look down at your book where the Far Scribe is being written back to you, Gardenia is saying, "Down with Blossom, heading towards the ship, and... Wait, what was that? Fuck." Message cuts off.
I think Dorna hears and say out loud, "Fuck."
He goes, "Hmm?"
And like holds up the pen and like shakes it at Dorna, like 1 second, but there's like an urgency to them as they like kind of start pacing and writing. Gardenia?
The message comes back really frantically. "There's a monster here."
And pauses and like kind of thinks, what am I supposed to do about it? I'm not a sea pig, despite popular opinion of my sibling.
Oh, is that like a common thing you guys called each other? Sea pigs?
That's specifically what Neve called N because they're white and squishy. And live at the bottom of Sharn. Anyway.
And die if you bring them up too quickly.
Yeah, you saw what happened. Anyway. Yeah, and just like pauses with like a look on their face, like a scrunched up, squinty grimace. Closes the book, looks at Dorna. Okay, so we might have a situation. We should probably head back down. And like swings himself onto the ladder. First step, get back to the pond, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, as you are like, Dorna says, "What situation?" And as you are rapidly climbing down, her following behind you, you hear like the sound of like thrashing and then a scream.
Yeah, and looks up at Dorna, says, monster, let's go of the ladder, and falls.
Yeah. Cool. I will bring you into the room. I would like you to, in a second, roll initiative. Let me start rolling for everybody. Yeah, 16. And you can also roll initiative.
Oh, yay. Token. Boop. 13.
Nice.
Not bad.
Hey.
Yay,
Oh, this is a
Gardenia.
horrible situation.
You need to move quickly. You're in the water.
Yep.
You're in danger. Max.
Oh, no, Max.
Gosh.
Whoa. Hello, sailor.
Oh, hello, sailor.
Okay.
Which sailor is that?
One of them got a nat 20.
Yeah. Well, I'm not rolling for each of them. That's the group of
The sailor's got
other
a nat
sailors.
20.
Excellent.
So
Oh, hello,
it's Danny, Glenn, and Eye Patch.
Oh, I see. Didn't have a name.
Not yet.
Well, Glenn hasn't asked yet.
Yeah, this is my fault.
Cool. And you float down the elevator shaft and land on top of the elevator just as you are seeing something emerge from the water. You see Gardenia like just at the top of the water, breaking free from the surface in the diving suit. And she calls for alarm. The sailors and triplets quickly grab rope and start moving towards her. As there is something behind them bubbling up. So I will just say that these people are preparing to throw rope. Let's have the triplets do a dex check at advantage because they're all helping each other as a group.
Good thing.
16. So they've thrown the rope to Gardenia. Gardenia's turn. Her speed is reduced. she's trying to swim as fast as she can. Trying to drag Blossom along a little bit. Yeah, give me an athletics check. 10. Yep. So that's about as far as she gets with her movement and action. She does have a bonus action to move, so I'm going to say a little... And let's say that they've grabbed onto the rope. Orkan's turn. He is going to dash over to help. And your turn.
All right. Well,
You can't see anything yet,
Yeah.
but Gardenia and Blossom have surfaced slightly and are moving quickly.
oh, at least they've surfaced. That's good. That's a good start. Yeah, and we'll run up beside Magda and hold an action, a blast, for if something surfaces from the water.
Okay. Jean-Luc is helping on the rope. Emma is calling out to Blossom, "What's going on?" And is like holding an action to attack if anything surfaces. Blossom says, "Something's followed us!" And we'll try and use her movement to also get further. She's also pulling Gardenia along close. And now it is the monster's turn. Moves forward. Yeah, about that far. Okay. You see something start to rise against the surface of the water, but not quite break it.
Mm-hmm.
A swirling mass of bones, broken shards and jawless skulls writhing beneath the water, held together by strands of convulsing ectoplasm, as if it takes everything within its willpower to move. You can hear the echoes of sobbing, screaming, wailing of the voices of the dead as the swarm drags itself closer. And in fleeting glimpses, you swear you can see the ghostly figure of a woman in the center.
Can I shoot it?
Yeah. Roll.
It's like, I don't know
Roll
what
to
to do
blast.
with this.
And I love your consistency.
And take inspiration.
This makes me feel absolutely horrible and is awakening a bone-deep dread in me. I'm gonna try and shoot
Yeah.
it like a cat that doesn't like the thing, so we'll smack it, essentially, is the reflex. Well, let's see. I knew that was gonna happen.
nat
I was
one.
like, I know, I feel it.
Man.
Can I flavor this, Zeke?
Yes, please.
Ooh, that's good.
And gets ready, like, feeling this absolute horror and dread inside of them and keeping that, just pack that down with every other piece of dread that you have felt upon awaking in this place. Just put it all in there. Surely this box can fit it all. Just hit it again. Just blast. Just use your magic. That's what you're good at. That's what you have. And swallows that dread. There's a brief look of horror on their face, but they swallow it and they reel back to blast it. Their arm extends forward and the power surges through it, and it explodes and they're thrown backwards.
Oh. How far?
Let's roll a D10.
Yes.
Yay!
Putting the N in pen, am I right? 8.
Yep, so you
I'm gonna take
thrown back.
I'm gonna take the pretty much that. Say that.
Yep. So you stumble backwards 8 feet as your own arm like explodes with magic.
Yeah.
You're just like blasted off screen next to Magda.
Yeah, thrown backwards onto the dirt, and I think their arm briefly dematerializes. Like it's at a full explosion of the whole arm just bursts open and then quickly comes back together. Kind of like it did in the sundown. It just explodes and then comes back together.
Ooh.
Yeah. Your whole arm sort of vaporizes briefly before reassembling back into its shape.
Yeah, and I think Anne falls prone. Like, I think this is a really bad blowback.
Yeah.
That's my reaction.
Yep.
Can I end my turn?
Face down on the field. Is this sand, by the way? Is this like sand?
It's like stone with like a little bit of sand.
Okay.
So
I'm just wondering
it's
if I
not
left skid
comfortable.
marks as I like.
Oh yeah, there was a little bit of a blowback skid.
Nice.
You,
Okay.
you Tokyo drifted a little bit.
That's not Tokyo drifting.
Well, goodbye.
Yep. So both Blossom and Gardenia need to make wisdom saving throws. Okay, cool. 20. That's good. Gardenia. 16. Both good. So there's, you can see that like, as it's moving forward, there's almost like this radius of like wispy magic that extends very far away from it, like 20 feet out from it. As it gets closer, you can hear these like voices, the sounds of death and suffering and anguish. And you like just rolled a nat 1. You've been knocked on your ass in like a cold, dark underground space. And I would like you to roll a wisdom saving throw against your own mind.
Yay! That's an 18.
You like feel your heart like rabbit pounding in your chest as everything about this situation reminds you of the fucking raid on Sharn when you were young. When pirates and undead stormed the city. But you don't have time for that. People are in danger. Mags' turn. She will.
I just
Run over
exploded
and
inside her.
Yeah.
I'm good. Don't worry about me. Go hug
I
your people.
think there is a little bit of a like. I think there's a little bit of a like startle on her end of like. I think she's as much running away from the noise as she is running towards people to help.
Yeah, go to your people. I'm good.
Yep. Cool. So the whole team is together now. The whole crew is together, so they will all use their combined actions to heave, and pull Gardenia and Blossom out of the water. So let's have the triplets lead it with advantage. $19 and a nat 1. Thanks, girls. 19 is good, though.
Go team, go.
So the whole team will heave ho. Blossom and Gardenia arrive on shore. Gardenia turns around and, like, will try and dex check, wiggle out of the suit, this like heavy plate armor as much as she can, to access her crossbow and make a crossbow attack at whatever is approaching her. That's a 22 to hit. Hits. Deals 2 piercing damage as this is immune to poison.
Dang!
I mean, look at it.
Yeah, well.
I don't think a crossbow bolt's gonna do much. Yeah.
Your turn.
And I feel like their head is ringing. They're laying on the ground. They're hearing the noises of the cacophony of suffering and screaming. And their instinct in this moment is to stay still, stay hidden. Like, that's their immediate instinct. But since they succeeded their wisdom save, they're able to fight against the instinct to stay still, stay quiet, stay protected, save yourself, save your people. And drags themselves to sit up. I feel like, though, their arms haven't fully recovered from that blast, so there's still that flickering disintegration flecking off of them. And
yeah, you feel like there's just wafts of smoke are coming out of the cracks in your skin.
Yeah, that is happening, but N is hardly acknowledging it, because in order to stay focused at all in this situation, they're trying to laser focus on the threat and nothing else around them. Because focusing on what's happening around them, focusing on the noise, on the darkness, that's going to paralyze them, and that can't happen right now. So they drag themselves back onto their feet, and they step forward, and they light up both their hands. I feel like it goes beyond their hands, like their whole arms catch alight, much against their usual controlled blasts, and they're gonna try and blast the thing again.
Go for it. 2 shots.
Oh, there we go. Both of them at once, I guess.
Both of them hit.
92.
Nice.
I think it happens as and pretty much puts their hands together, and it becomes one concentrated beam of force at this thing.
Yeah. You basically double barrel shotgun blast.
Yeah.
Double barrel double barrel shotgun eldritch blast into the monster, and you see just a single skull in this amalgam just get shot off and fall to the ground.
And for Emma, there's just this massive searing flame that scorches across the stone and then through the water and hits this thing, lighting up the darkness briefly in this eerie purple light.
Yeah, I think Emma turns to look at you briefly and just says, "Keep doing that!" Then we'll run over to give Blossom and Gardenia the help action. Blossom will make a athletics check to pull Gardenia up and with her. Wait, she has advantage as well, so let me just do that one more time. If she rolls
even
better,
nicer.
yeah. So all 3 of them are now backing away from the water's edge. Let's say about this far. Now it is the massacred's turn. It starts to slither out of the water, and as it gets closer, and you can hear them, the maddening voices. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and is staring it down, trying to be more intimidating than it is. They're a bit blinded to what's going on around them. They're just trying to be angrier than this thing. But that's an 11, so we'll see.
As it approaches, you can hear this babble of words and phrases spoken by what must be dozens, scores of undead spirits. Restless, suffering, yearning for revenge. You see the face of this anguished, bound woman staring at you through the center of it. You are mechanically frightened. You're mechanically frightened for 1 minute, and you can make another save at the end of your turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then the swarm the spirits of the massacred of Fort Fathomless release a mournful wail, inciting a vision of suffering in all who hear it.
You know what this takes Em back to?
What?
Stage, baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
Spirits crying out for revenge, trapped, massacred. Whatever vision it's forcing into En's brain is becoming this conglomeration, this tapestry of horror that is both whatever it is trying to summon up in En and En's own memories of standing there watching people suffer and die helplessly, mixing again with En hiding in the crevices of Sharn, listening to people struggle and die and doing nothing about it. It's all weaving together.
Cool. Pretty much everybody needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
You too.
Yes.
Especially you. No, I'm just thinking. Mechanically frightened means that you can't help but leave too, huh?
You have disadvantage on an attack rolls while the object of your fear is
Ah.
within sight.
Yeah, and I can't get closer to it.
You can't get closer to it.
Got you. Just checking. Just checking what thematically we're doing here, yeah?
Let's see about the Constitution.
Oh, can't.
That's an 8. Yay.
That's a fail. Fail.
I mean, I
What
assume
else?
so.
We'll do the...
Unless
Yeah,
the
let me-
unless the DC is a 5. But somehow I doubt it.
Oh, good
Good thing you're on
boy.
fire.
For a total of 7, but like, yeah.
Can we get another
heard
7?
you.
Can we get our own 777? Let's go.
Let's go.
Up the ladder and out of here.
17.
Emma.
Emma succeeds.
Okay.
Blossom
Yeah,
succeeds.
Okay,
Yay.
let's go.
Let's do the triplets. Oop, that's not advantage, but
Wow.
2 14s.
Matchy,
One
matchy.
more. Yeah, I'll do one more.
Ah, damn.
2 successes, 1 failure. We'll say the one that's closest fails. Because what the fuck? Magda.
Oh.
Oh, lovely Mags. Oh, lovely Mags.
Critical
No.
fail.
Oh my god.
Critical fail. Oh boy. Jean-Luc. Fail.
That's a 10.
Sailors.
Damn.
1 success. Let's say that's iPatch. 1 fail. Let's say that's Danny.
iPatch can only see one half of it, so
And Glenn
God.
also fails. Ooh.
Dang.
Team, you rolled pretty bad.
Yeah, the whole team rolled like ass.
It's scary.
It's really fucking scary. The people who succeed only take 4 psychic damage. Everybody else takes 8. And everybody that failed is paralyzed.
Oh.
yay.
Oh shit, this is bad.
This is very bad. The
not
sailors, the additional crew is doing bad. I think Danny straight up faints
Goodbye, Danny.
Oh,
from
shit.
the psychic damage.
They were not made for this life. They were made to cook and maybe cower in their bedroom, from what I understand.
Cook and cow.
Okay, cool. So many of them lose their turns.
These guys are at risk of dying. Such risk.
Fine, they've got N. I believe in N.
Paralyzed prone N.
I'm not prone. I
Sorry,
stood
Koulton,
up.
I'm so sorry.
And grinded.
Okay.
Stop
Paralyzed
calling everyone
upright.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna die on my feet.
Oh my god.
16 to hit.
Oh.
Eye patch breaks away from the crowd, shoots for 1.
Well, thanks for trying.
Only
Is
so
it
much
better
you
than
can.
nothing? Hard to say.
2 of the triplets are around. Shake the third one back towards them, ready their quarterstaffs to like rush and attack, but like are trying to like keep their third. You know what? Let's have them throw rocks. Miss. Hit.
Ooh.
It takes 1 damage. Gardenia paralyzed, Orcon paralyzed, and paralyzed.
Do I get to have a turn?
You can try and make another saving throw. You can make 2 saving throws. 1 for Constitution, 1 for Wisdom.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can get a move on.
Ooh.
14.
You are no longer paralyzed.
Yes.
Good start. Shake it off. I just told myself I can't say so. And wisdom. 16.
Ooh.
Wisdom saving throw is at disadvantage because you can still see the thing that's scaring you.
My bad. Let me roll that again.
Hey, but it's still a
Yes.
success.
And
You're
You've
scarier
seen
than
worse.
this. Can we get a hero shot of N resisting the terror?
Yeah. So, and is struck by this for a moment, goes through the whole cacophony of traumatic memories. But you know how that ended? I burned the fucking theater down. And everyone in it died. And everyone here is going to die. And extends their hand towards the thing. Their body is flickering and falling apart, but they are laser focused on this thing. And with a scream, we cut out.
That's where we'll end today's episode of Metanoia Blues.